Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, The Doctorate Mind. So today we're going to see the second part of the interview I had with Javier on corporate life in the Philippines. So in this short interview, I guarantee you will learn a lot of useful tips that will surely help you in your corporate life as well. So please like, subscribe and share my channel.
Okay, so we shall proceed with the next question. As a worker, because currently now you're working.
Thank God, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So how do you manage your expenses? Like, what advice can you give to fellow workers on how to manage your expenses?
Okay, this is a thing that, especially for the teenagers, the ones that are starting
Yes.
right now to work, I think is the ones that may have the hardest time.
Yes.
Because we go from, I don't know, getting paychecks from our parents or getting the typical I'm a waiter in summer kind of job.
Yes.
And we're young, so obviously what are we going to spend our money in? Going drinking food with friends, partying, or I want to buy this laptop, I want to have the most updated sneakers in the market,
Yes.
the PlayStation 5, whatever, like teenage things. It's a thing that takes time, but I think that how you handle your expenses is what do you want to see yourself in a couple of years.
Okay.
I'm not saying that you have to, the moment you have your first job, you already have to be thinking about my future house, my future wife, my future everything, because obviously everything comes when it comes.
Yes.
But I will advise people to really look into what you value and what you really want to do with that money. Because, for example, you may like video games, you may like sports, you may like traveling, and you may like to have a future house with your wife. From those four things, what are the things that you value the most right now?
Okay.
Like from those four things, what is the one that you value the most right now, and what is the one that you value the most in a short term or medium term?
Short term, medium term, or long term.
For example, from my experience at first, when I was getting paid in a restaurant, or when I was getting paid in Spain in my first job, that it was a partial time job for 250 euros 2 days per week. All the money used to go into parties in the weekends, this and this, like all that money went to something that I'm never going to get a benefit from.
Yes.
Unless the benefit of spending time with my friends there.
Yes.
It comes a moment where you're 25, 26, and you realize that you're no longer that 21-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, that the only thing he wants is to spend money with friends, alcohol, parties, let's go to this house, Airbnb, let's go to this part. So the way to manage your expenses, basically, to really look into what you can get a value from, like the rent, if you want to be living with your parents for the rest of your life.
Good point.
Which for me is something that I don't want.
Yes.
Like I want to have a moment in my life where I fly.
Yes.
So obviously, you have a stable job, you have a decent salary, save up money and look into what is the next step.
Yes.
And that's when you're going to realize, oh, this is life.
Yes.
Life is not going out every day, spending on beers with friends, going out and spending money.
There's more to it.
Because you're going to have to pay a rent, and when you pay a rent, that's like 40 or 30% of your salary, depending on where you are living. In Spain, for example, with 1,000 euros, living in Madrid, half of your salary is going on the rent. And what do you do with the other half is what you really have to manage. Because you never know what's going to happen in life. Maybe next month I get fired, and I have this amount of money saved.
Yes.
What do? You have to pay a rent. You have to
still have to pay your rent. So the money.
See money as a thing that it's valuable, because obviously valuable, but that you also have to keep and save, because you never know what's going to happen in a couple of months, years, or whatever. So and it takes time. I don't spend a 21-year-old or a 20-year-old.
Yes.
And I've seen people with 40 years of age.
Yes.
Spending money, and then with 45 years, you look at them that they went from a big house to an apartment.
Yes.
And you don't even have to ask what happened. It's just he could have gotten fired. He was spending money like he didn't have like a deep, it's an unlimited bank account.
Unlimited bank account, which is not true.
So the expenses, treat money as a last resort always, you know, like something that you better have because you never know
What's going to happen
when
next?
you're going to really need it.
Thank
you know,
for that.
and maybe the PlayStation 5 today that you want is amazing for you, but in 2 years you realize and you're like, oh, those 500 euros right now, I could pay my rent for 2 months, you know, like it comes a moment that with age you start valuing things.
You start putting value on certain things and then you're weighing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that insight. All right. We are almost towards the end.
Oh.
And I would like to ask you this very interesting question. Like from your own point of view, how do we get promoted? Like, how do we get promoted in a company? Like, if you want to move from an associate to a senior associate, or just get promoted up the ranks, what's your advice here?
It's related with what we were talking about mastering our job.
Yes.
I've only gotten promoted once, and it was inside a kitchen. I started. Maybe there's some people that are gonna watch this video that have been in that situation of the kitchen in like a restaurant industry.
The restaurant
that
industry.
You start in the bottom and you raise.
Yes.
For example, based on my experience, what did I do? I just worked every day, like if it were my last.
All right. You give it 100, like you were.
And there's gonna be somebody that is gonna value it, and there's gonna be people that don't value it. For example, how did they value me? I went from being an OJT, that is basically the person that doesn't get paid. Doesn't get paid.
Internship.
Yeah, internship for 2 months. And after 2 months, my boss saw that, hey, you're not getting paid, but you're working as one more here. Yeah. So I'm going to hire you. From then onwards, I worked 1 more year in the restaurant. And bit by bit, it's showing.
It's showing.
It's like if...
Your ethic.
And it's not, how you say... underwhelming other people's abilities. But if everybody's a 5 and you're a 7, that's where you stand out.
That's when you stand out. Yes.
And if there's somebody that is a 9 above you, I don't want people, and that's something that I've never been like. I've never liked that feeling of I need to step on another person's job to get promoted. You know, because I've seen that in many places, something that I hate, because it's basically like getting promoted, not even getting promoted, because you may not even get promoted. It's just thinking that just by stepping on somebody else's work or somebody else's life, you're going to like erase them and you're going to be higher up than them.
Yes.
From my point of view, is just basically focus on yourself, focus on your work, trying to do it as best as possible. You're going to have bad moments. You overcome those bad moments. You learn from those moments. And when you look back 2 months, 2 years behind you, you're going to be like, oh, damn, I made it. I still have things to learn, because I think that's one of the key points in life, that is there's always a margin of improvement in every aspect. Like never conform yourself with, oh, I made it here. This is my top.
So, okay. All right.
So getting promoted, yeah, like basically work.
And that's it.
Okay. And that's it. Like honestly, like show your abilities, show that you can disagree also, because I think that's one thing that makes your boss, because at the end of the day, it's your boss, the one that is going to get promoted. It's not going to be your co-worker. Yeah. It's also show your boss that if your boss tells you, oh, we're going to do this, this, and this, and you question it in a way, you say, okay, I'm going to do it, but I think that we could do it this way. Like show also like initiative, show that, because I say again, there's going to be bosses that they're going to take that against them, and they're going to be like, oh, this guy is getting cocky, or this guy thinks that he's better than me. So, but there's also going to be people that are going to be like, oh, this dude has the balls to question a thing that I thought it was correct. And it may be correct, but just the fact that he questioned it gives me...
He wants my best.
He wants the best for the company, or he wants the best, you know? So it's, like believe in yourself, keep on working, focus on yourself, try to focus as less as possible with other people's work.
Yes.
Help those who ask for help.
That's it.
Yeah, basically feel good with yourself and what you do every day.
All right. So we're going to conclude with this last question. How from your own perspective, how do we have a correct work-life balance? Like, how do we balance work and life? Like,
can be with family, with friends. I think your work is going to ask it from you. Like, I don't know you from your experience, but I mean, obviously, I'm not the same person that I was with 22 years. That when I finished college, you know, from Monday to Friday, the first thing I wanted to do, if I hadn't done it throughout the week, was to go out, have drinks with my friends, you know, like numb myself from all the things that I had done in this week. But I think, like I said, work is gonna ask from you what you wanna do, and that balance is gonna come sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
Like, obviously, if you work from Monday to Friday, my life is not the same as yours because you have a wife and you have a child. Me, I have a girlfriend, but that's it. You know, and I have my friends, so I don't really have like an obligation that makes me have to make a balance. Because my girlfriend knows that I work from Monday to Friday, Thursday and Friday from home, but from Monday to Friday I'm occupied. We may have a call, we may have. So it really depends on the life that everybody has. Your life is not the same as mine, but I think that the key point is, especially you and I, that we are in a corporate business. Saturdays and Sundays have to be for yourself and your friends and your family. For you, more your family. For me, my girlfriend, my family, and friends. You know, so, and I think it's gonna help you because a person that, unless you're a startup business, that's different because that's like your workplace is your baby. Like if you're creating a business, starting up a business, you really have to pay attention to that. So I cannot really have an opinion for those people that are going through that, you know, starting up a business and everything. But I feel like give yourself the opportunity to enjoy the day for 3 hours, 2 hours. Because if not, you're going to get really burnt up with whatever you're doing. If you go, imagine for us, if we go to the weekend, we finish at 11, and from Saturday to Sunday, we're always thinking about work. That's over gonna hit your brain. You're gonna arrive to work on the Monday already thinking about work, and I've been through that. So it's also letting yourself like forget about work because work is there obviously, but it's not everything, you know. Like I said before, there's people that are amazing at their work, but are the worst in terms of life, with family life, friends life. So it's like, I mean, if you're willing to have this and have this, up to you. I'm a person that is going to try to have this.
To balance the work.
I may not be the richest person in the world, but at least I have a job life that I like and I have a family love life that I like. So the balance, it's going to ask it from you when the moment comes. You may need to be focused on work for 2 weeks straight, and that a week later you may need a vacation because you. So it's also like a part of learning. Like I didn't know that 3 years ago when I really started working.
Thanks for this.
And now I know it. And I think I know it. Maybe in 2 years, I'm in the same place, I involve. My girlfriend becomes my wife. Now it's a different story. Now it's not only. So
okay, I get it.
That's the fun game of life. I think that not everything's gonna be the same.
So thank you, Abby, for these beautiful questions, for the beautiful questions I asked you, and for the answers you provided.
You're welcome for asking them.
And I hope our audience was able to learn a lot of things from this little discussion I had with him. And I don't know, can you do you have any words you would like to share in Spanish for?
Nah, in Spanish, no, I'll say it in English because at the end of the day, it's more international.
All right.
But I can say that even if you feel at the lowest, like I think, well, I don't know if everybody, but at least me, I've been in the lowest of my life. And the feeling of I want to overcome it and achieve something, go for it. Don't look behind because what you've done in the past, it's only for learnings in the future. Don't overwhelm yourself too much with what you've done wrong, what you could have done. If I could have kept on going on college, what would have happened instead of dropping out? I would have stayed and studied more and more and more. Everything happens for a reason in life. Try to look forward. Try to find the opportunity or the positive mindset to seek what's out there. Because today may seem like hell, but tomorrow you're in heaven, and vice versa. Maybe now you're in heaven and tomorrow you're in hell. Like, that's part of life. Like, if you ask your parents may seem like the most perfect people, or your certain friends may seem like the most perfect people, but I can guarantee you that there's a story behind everybody.
Yeah.
Even the biggest people in the world, you know, like even if it's sports athletes, if it's business owners, everybody has gone through everything.
Yes.
So try to keep yourself as most positive as possible. Don't look into the past, especially if it's negative, and just try to find a better self for yourself and your future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you once more for the answers, and we're going to close this discussion. That was Dr. Redmind, and see you next time.
And subscribe.
Ciao, ciao.